Does meal prepping just seem too overwhelming to you and more time consuming than saving? In today's episode, I'm going to share with you 10 meal prep hacks that will save you time and money at the same time. Who doesn't love that? These tips will make meal prepping a breeze, and no longer will you have to wonder what's for dinner. Grab a pen and paper and let's get into it. Tired of feeling exhausted after training? Confused about how to fuel your body without all the food rules? Welcome to Female Sports Nutrition, where I'll help you fuel strong, build muscle, and perform your best, all while breaking free from diet culture. I'm Kristen, a sports dietitian, trainer, and Jesus lover, and I'm here to help you fuel with freedom. Lace up your shoes, grab that smoothie, and let's jump in. Are you a female athlete looking to elevate your performance through better fueling? I'm here to help you set meaningful goals and tackle the challenges you're facing in your nutrition journey. Join me for a free, no-obligation consultation where we will discuss your unique challenges and aspirations, explore personalized strategies to enhance your fueling, and identify the best services to support you in achieving your goals. This is your chance to gain clarity and direction in your nutrition journey, no strings attached. I'll drop the link below for you in the show notes. All you need to do is click to schedule your free consultation. Let's work together to fuel your success and empower your athletic journey. So over the years, I have gone through many different ways of meal prepping and really just trying to trial out what works best for me in that particular phase of life. I've done everything from cooking every single meal, which is exhausting, to making every single meal on Sunday for the entire week in a nice little container. I've also batch cooked. I have tried doing freezer dump meals. I've done it all. And I'm here to tell you what the best time-saving hacks are for meal prep in this episode. So let's get into it. Number one, and you might be thinking this is not a hack at all, but it is so important, is to actually plan ahead. If you do nothing else and you get nothing else out of this episode, know that the number one tip is to plan ahead. So I would specifically take a day, and not even just a day, just, a morning, maybe like 10, 15 minutes out of your morning or whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe it's a Saturday morning when you're nice and relaxed, where you can plan meals for the week. You're going to create a menu that includes at least dinner, if not lunches and breakfasts, to make your life simpler. The more that you plan, more it's going to help you because you're going to have things figured out and you're not going to have to be wondering, what in the world am I going to have for this meal? I have nothing on hand, or everything's frozen, or my veggies are rotten, or whatever. It's going to make your life so simple. So what I would suggest doing is marking off the days that you are not going to eat those meals at home or eat food from home. And then from there, you're going to plan out your dinners, and then you're going to make your lunches, your leftovers from dinners, and then just make something simple for breakfast during the week, maybe like one or two different things that you can prep a lot of, but very easily. For example, a breakfast casserole or protein pancakes or overnight oats, something along those lines that is going to be really easy, where you can make a big bowl of overnight oats and just kind of portion it out during the week, or you can just kind of pull from it each day. Or the breakfast casserole, you can split it into however many servings that you want for that week, and then you have it cooked for the entire week. You just kind of cook it once and that's it. But you have to write this down. And what I personally do is I have a whiteboard in my kitchen where I plan out my dinners, and I automatically know that we're going to have lunch leftovers from dinner the night before. So I don't really need to plan those out, but I definitely do plan out dinners. And then I have that where I can see it. So then I know, okay, I have to pull out chicken the day before to thaw out. Then I'm never stuck in a pinch like, shoot, I never pulled that chicken out of the freezer. Now what are we going to do? I'm just going to have to get a frozen pizza. Number two is batch cooking. Batch cooking is amazing. It's basically where you're cooking large quantities of staple foods like potatoes. I baked a bunch of potatoes the other night and we have been eating off them for dinner this week, or cooking a big pot of rice or whatever other grains that you like. Also grilling up some meats or baking some meats in the oven, or shredding some chicken in the Instant Pot, or doing a rotisserie chicken in your slow cooker. Some protein needs to be meal prepped for the week. And then lastly, roasting a bunch of vegetables or just having canned vegetables on hand or frozen vegetables on hand is fine too. But basically, when you're going to cook these foods in big batches, you can just kind of pull off them from the week and then you can mix and match and create simple meals for yourself throughout the week and you don't get bored, but you only have to cook it one time. Number 3 is to use a slow cooker or an Instant Pot. I'll be honest, my Instant Pot, when I bought that thing, I was really intimidated by it. I did not know what to do with that because all I've ever known is how to actually cook, using a stove, an oven, a grill, things like that. But an Instant Pot was like a whole new world to me. So I had no idea what to do with that. And it really took some time of looking online, looking at different recipes to get a hang of it. And I'll be honest, right now, it's so easy to me. And it has saved my life many times when I did forget to pull the chicken out of the freezer and I could throw a whole frozen chicken in the Instant Pot and make it into a rotisserie chicken in an hour. That is amazing. And then also I have a slow cooker. I have both and I will actually use both at the same time and I will cook 2 different things in my Instant Pot and the slow cooker, or sometimes I cook 2 of the same things. So for example, the other night when I baked a bunch of potatoes, I made a rotisserie chicken in the Instant Pot and another rotisserie chicken in my slow cooker. So there I was batch cooking. I was making that for dinner and I was utilizing my slow cooker and my Instant Pot at the same time. And I had planned that out. So I utilized my first 3 tips here in that one meal. But it saved me so much time because I wound up using that chicken from dinner as my lunch today. So I had a half of a sweet potato with some shredded up chicken and some barbecue sauce on it. That was my meal. I still have a whole chicken left over that I'm going to use for another dinner. I also picked some off and made it into some chicken salad. So I got a lot of meals out of that chicken that I used in my slow cooker and of course my Instant Pot because I used both of them. But I highly suggest utilizing both of these things. And like I said, you can have 2 different things or the same things cooking at the same time in your slow cooker and the Instant Pot, which is so time saving. Number 4 is to pre-chop and potentially even pre-portion some ingredients. Now, if you are not good with knife skills or you have no interest in doing this, there's a lot of things that you can buy from the grocery store that are already pre-chopped. You can buy like pre-chopped onions and peppers, shredded carrots. You can even buy some of these things frozen already. You can get pre-cut fruit. There's so many things that you can get that are already pre-cut. If you don't want to spend the extra money to have them pre-cut for you, then I would spend maybe like an hour just chopping up some vegetables. And I actually use a vegetable chopper and my food processor, which my food processor I could not live without. My vegetable chopper is just one of those things where you put a vegetable in and you kind of slam it down and it chops it for you. And the food processor, you can either shred it or you can slice it or you can even chop it up and it'll do it for you in like 10 seconds. It's amazing. So I highly suggest investing in these things. And then when you go to make meals, all you have to do is just pull out your pre-chopped vegetables, or if it's going to be a snack, you can just pull out your pre-chopped fruit and you're good to go. And you don't have to spend the time doing it right then and there when you're actually hungry and you don't want to do it. So number 5 is to make freezer-friendly meals. So this is where you're going to prepare meals in bulk and then freeze them in either individual portions, or what I do because I'm cooking for a family is I actually freeze them in food saver bags. I have a food saver machine that sucks all the air out, and I will put either meals or components of meals in those food saver bags so then I can pull it out at a later time, and then I don't have to cook that part of the dinner or the entire dinner. So some things that I have done recently to make some freezer friendly meals are I made a corn, squash, and chicken soup. We ate off that for dinner and for some lunches, and then I froze the rest of it in those food saver bags because, of course, I batch cooked them. I also made some pulled pork. So I have a smoker, so I smoked some Boston butts, and we ate off of that for dinner and for lunches as well. But then I froze the rest of it into those food saver bags so I can just easily pull those out, pair that with maybe some baked potatoes and some canned green beans, and now I have a meal. Super simple. Number 6 is to utilize one pan dishes. So this is focusing on recipes that require minimal cooking equipment moment, like basically just a sheet pan and putting some foil or some parchment paper on it for very easy cleanup. Because who wants to scrub a pan? I certainly don't. So one pan dishes, these are super simple. So what I would suggest doing is getting something like chicken sausages, cutting up some potatoes, and then whatever vegetable that you like that will roast well. So for example, cut up cauliflower, cut up broccoli, carrots, Brussels sprouts. These are all great options. And you just throw them all in a pan with some olive oil, salt, pepper, whatever seasoning that you like, and you just roast it in the oven probably about like 400 degrees for, maybe 30 minutes or so. And now you have your entire meal cooked for you and you had really not a whole lot to do. And especially if you had pre-chopped your veggies or you got them pre-chopped for you. It's going to save you even more time. Plus, you don't have any cleanup because you're just basically taking the foil or the parchment paper off the pan and throwing it away. Super simple. Number 7 is to invest in quality storage containers. You are going to want some good storage containers for when you are batch cooking or you are pre-chopping your fruits or vegetables or whatever, and when you have leftovers. Because if you are using good quality storage containers, especially ones that are glass, not plastic, that are clear, you can see through them very well, it's going to make it so when you open the refrigerator, you're going to be able to look right in and say, this is what I have. And you are not having to dig at the back of the refrigerator wondering, what in the world am I going to eat today? It's all going to be right there for you. And I will tell you, when you have things that are in clear containers right where you can see them, especially when it's something that's actually good for you, you're going to be way more likely to eat that. So case in point, many years ago when my husband and I first got married, I had a whole bunch of peaches in the refrigerator. They were not cut up. He did not touch them. So I kind of did my own little experiment. I cut them up and I put them in a nice glass container that he could see from the opening of the refrigerator. And you know what? All those peaches were gone in like an hour because I had chopped them up and I put them in a clear container exactly at eye level where he could see them when he opened the refrigerator door. So this is the same for you. It's just human nature. Invest in some good quality storage containers. I got a whole bunch from Target as a set. If you don't have a Target by you, look at any stores near you or of course on Amazon. But I would suggest getting glass containers over plastic just because microplastics do leach into your food. Number 8 is to cook once, eat twice. I know I've mentioned this cookbook before that is called Cook Once, Eat All Week, but it's basically going off of that idea from this cookbook, which is where you are going to repurpose leftovers into new meals. So for example, if you have some grilled chicken, that can be used in salads. It can be used on a chicken sandwich or in a wrap. You can put it into a stir fry. You can even cut it up and put it on a frozen pizza. And now you have some extra protein on that pizza. So I highly suggest batch cooking some ingredients that you will use over and over again in other meals so that you can make your life so much simpler. And I do have a link that I'm going to post below for you that is freezer meals that I have created, which are basically different types of shredded meats and all the different ways that you can use those particular foods. Number 9 is to incorporate no-cook meals. So this is where you're going to keep a repertoire of no-cook meals such as salads or wraps or sandwiches, or it could even be canned soups that require minimal preparation. And these, people really kind of give them a bad rap when it's prepackaged, but I'll be quite honest with you. These are going to be time savers and they are going to be lifesavers when you really don't feel like cooking, or maybe you're even sick and you really can't cook. What are your options? Either starve or use Uber Eats and get something that's really not that healthy for you, even less healthy than prepackaged food. So I highly suggest getting some no-cook meals to have on hand in your freezer or some things to keep in your pantry, and then bring those out when you really need them. So like I said, some examples would be canned foods, canned soups. They could be freezer meals. It could be Amy's burritos, bags of salads, or just sandwich ingredients. All right, last but not least is to set a timer. So this probably seems like a weird hack, but I promise it does work. If you actually time yourself to complete the task of meal prepping for yourself in a certain amount of time, you can kind of play a little game with yourself where you try to make it faster each time, but at least you'll know where you're starting from in the beginning, and then you can work your way to a shorter meal prep each time. A lot of times we get distracted. We start looking at our phones, we start looking at social media, or start doing other things, and that interferes with our meal prep. So it seems like it's so much longer because we're really just not focusing on it. But if we can set a timer and really focus on just having a couple things cooking at one particular time, and then you can throw it all together during your meal prep, now you know, okay, I can get this done in a lot quicker amount of time, and you can try and get that time down each week that you do it. So by implementing these hacks, you can save so much time in the kitchen while you are ensuring that you have a nutritious meal ready to support you in your training goals. And not only that, because you're going to be meal prepping, you're going to be planning things out, you're actually going to be saving yourself money, especially when you go to the grocery store, because you're not going to say, ooh, shiny, that looks really good, I'm going to get that in my cart. You'll already have a plan. You'll already know what to buy. And if you need help with putting together a grocery list, I'm going to link below the episode that I did on the best meal prep apps that will actually create a grocery list for you. So just check down in the show notes to get those links. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you, encouraged you, or changed you, I would love for you to leave me a review and share it with a girlfriend who will find it helpful or inspiring. That is the best way you can thank me and help me share my knowledge so I can help more people just like you. I'm so thankful that you spent this time with me today, and I'd love to connect with you. Join my Facebook group, Female Sports Nutrition, or send me a DM on Instagram, or hop on over to my website, EliteNutritionPerformance.com. I'll see you back here next week.